didn't plan it.
I got my Transformers over here too.
Everything, they didn't plan it all that.
Yeah, they start one.
We'll see. Kind of the Grey.
I love it.
The whole crew. To the mobile, to the T-type mobile.
This be a good part to talk about where we're going.
Yeah.
So today we're heading to local bar / venue / restaurant, Jimmy Ryan's. Great spot.
The old Irish pub in the Bronx.
Yeah.
How it is.
We're gonna meet up with Alex Bondarev, amazing Bronx musician, legend. Currently in Conversing with Oceans, and we're gonna see what's going on with him. Okay, my name is Fernando Michael, and this is Christopher Vasquez. We're 2/3 of the Fox and King, a music and artist development agency based in the Boogie Down Bronx, New York. And this is B-Sides, a deeper look into the Bronx's untapped music community. Alex Bondarev is a Throgs Neck, Bronx native who's been part of the local Bronx music scene for over a decade. We're on the way to meet with him now at a renowned local eatery and a personal favorite place of mine, Jimmy Ryan's. I think the biggest takeaway is that this is a time to test yourself, and you shouldn't give up. Wise words.
Jimmy Ryan's Bar and Grill was established in 1985 and has continued to support the Bronx with good drinks, food, and another hub for local artists to perform. Inside you can find points of history involving pre-Prohibition Bronx breweries and historical references from our borough.
Kind of stemming off of the night session series that we started.
Yeah.
And
Which is really cool. You guys have been doing a great job.
Yeah, it was.
we had shows.
It
planned,
was nice.
You know,
Really.
and then pandemic hit. So like, what else can we do to give us a platform? And we kind of wanted to extend that a little bit, and we started through kind of dedicated docu-series about musicians in the Bronx and how the borough has affected them, how their music has developed over the years, and just really their experiences in the Bronx. And so that's why we wanted to talk to you. I mean, as far as I'm aware, you're one of the named people in the Bronx in terms of the music scene. A Moment's Worth is something that I grew up on. FLC is something that I grew up on. And honestly, I was telling Chris earlier that T-Back is something that would not exist without Bronx Underground. You know, it's that inspiration for me.
Well, we wouldn't exist without Bronx Underground either.
It's such a staple to the community. We're even saying that.
Yeah, I was saying in the car, you know, I always remember when I first saw Moment's Worth here, Jimmy Ryan, and how everyone was singing your song.
Yeah.
Like that to me was really like, how do you feel about the impact that Almost Worth has had in your community, districts of the Bronx as a whole?
That's, it's like a hard question to answer because it's something like every time that like somebody sings a word to our songs or a line, it's like
A little bit higher. I mean, you guys are talking just a little bit higher.
Okay.
yeah.
It's well known.
No, like at any time I hear that, like if we're playing a show and anybody's singing along, or just like looking back on videos that we have from Bronx Underground, just messages of people, like talking to people, hearing what you guys have said. I don't know, like it's like I'm like just very grateful for it, and I never take it for granted because I know it's like it's a very special thing. It's like a sacred thing, dude. Like all I ever tried to do is just like write stuff down that I feel as honestly as I could, you know, like, and I can't take credit for what that does to anybody else, right? I could write a song that I think is okay, you know, but if it resonates with somebody else, that's a whole other thing. So I just appreciate it so much, like that. Yeah, I'm just grateful, and it's again, I know it can like. It could have never happened, and I would have just been happy to make music. But the fact that like this music meant enough to somebody else for for them to like learn the words and sing and like kind of go through that with us. It's a really special thing, and I don't think I have proper words to describe how that makes me feel. I get chills just thinking about it because it's really nice, and it's really nice.
And as an artist, I'm sure that's an incredible feeling.
Yeah, it's almost like riding like a wave or something. Like it's a deeper connection. Like because you're always connected when you're performing music, right? You're connected to the band, you're connected to the notes you're playing, to your instrument, to the physical place. But when that extends to like the people that are part of it, it's almost like a spiritual, like sacred.
Yo, what?
Hey,
Speaking of,
how you doing?
what's up, man?
What's up? What's up? What are you guys up to? Jesus, my name is Danny Castro, and I love these gentlemen. I play drums with Conversing with Oceans. Conversing with Oceans and Drew Torres Trio and Baychester Blues. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
drummer.
How you doing, man?
Good to see you, brother.
Man, yeah, this is my workout thing. That's good.
I love it.
He told me you guys were gonna be here. I was like, let me pull up.
Thank you for pulling up,
Yeah,
man.
no, thank you, man. It's really good hearing. Yeah. We're just
I wasn't expecting you guys to
Yeah,
be
it was good. You know, like, the nice sessions that we were doing the past few months, we decided to kind of put that as an actual documentary series. So for featured artists in the Bronx, you know. Yep.
Welcome up, man. It's good to see you.
So you pulling up? I don't know if that was planned or.
Well, you told me you guys were hanging out today, so it's like,
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
getting some of the questions now too.
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, taking care, trying to just live in this crazy world right now.
Nice, nice.
So much going on.
So,
It's a lot. It's great having you.
so you guys recently released a new album with Conversing with Oceans. Like, just tell us about that whole experience and how it has meant to you guys as a band the last few months.
So I think like the Wild Dreams LP was basically we were playing a lot of these songs live for a long time. We were releasing some songs that either I did by myself or like had like collaborations with Chris and you on in some level, but that was like a proper like let's do a full band record, you know. So we went into the studio for that one to track drums, to track bass, all the guitars and stuff, just to give it that feel. Because as these songs were kind of like born and growing up into
Record?
yeah,
Forming into a record?
yeah, we were playing them live and stuff, right? We were rehearsing them, we were getting that feel for them. So a lot of those songs we just kind of did in the studio together. And it feels that way. It feels like a record we made together.
The recording process was quick.
Yeah.
It was quick, it was fun, you know? And the fact that we put in that whole year of like kind of grinding and playing shows live for people, we kind of understood what would work and what wouldn't.
Yep.
And like we already worked out the kinks, you know?
Yeah.
Just had a live feeling when we went into it.
Do you think it was a quick recording process because just the chemistry, the way you musicians have to align in the studio?
I think, well, Danny's a beast of a drummer, and so he can
Phenomenal
kill it.
drummer.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And Chris is like just one of the best like bassists and guitarists I know. So that just we knew what the vision was. We knew what we wanted, and I think everybody came so prepared, right?
That's really what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you put the work in, you know, we were, like I said, we worked out the kinks, we've done the preparation, and then, you know, honestly, if you're paying for studio time, you know, you're going to go in there and you're not going to play any games, you know, you're going to lay it down.
No, it's all good.
Did you want anything? You want anything? Daniel,
Cool right now, yeah.
Was there a transition from a moment's worth to Conversing with Oceans, or is it not?
No, there was
connected at all?
definitely a transition. I was going through some shit. It was a challenging time in my life personally, and that reflected in the music and the kind of music I was writing. So with AMW, we kind of had a process where we all made songs collaboratively, and I love those guys. They're my friends, and they like guided me through this whole process too. Like it would be like an idea I had, or Nick had, or Anthony had, and we'd always like kind of made songs together. But at this certain juncture in my life, I noticed I was a lot more introverted, recluse, experimenting with different sounds, just kind of re-identifying who I am, because it was around the time that like Bronx Underground kind of ended. We weren't having FLC shows. I was essentially playing a bunch of shows like acoustic by myself, just venturing out to anywhere to play a show. And I noticed something was like being born that didn't feel like AMW. It didn't feel like that full band, like heavy, like rock, balls to the wall kind of sound. It just didn't. It was more of like an experimental, introspective kind of thing. So I decided to just run with that. And then as I was growing these songs and developing them, I saw you play. I was actually playing a show by myself at Arlene's Grocery. I saw Danny play with the Drew Torres trio, I believe. And I was just like blown away by his drumming. And at that point, I was almost like, it's like if you have all the puzzle pieces in the air and you just kind of start seeing things that could work with the music. And I saw him drumming and I was like, oh my God, I wonder what his style would sound like with the drums I'm programming, and like he'd be so he was one of the pieces there. And Chris, we're going. He was also between projects, and this is a guy who should not be making music, because he's just so good. Like he's a sleeper piece. He's the first person I ever. Chris Ragone was obviously in a moment's worth when we started out. Daly's Gone Wrong then for a number of years. My Arcadia. So like we started writing songs together in 7th grade. So he was the person I was bouncing these ideas off to, because I just trust him. He knows my writing and I know his. So he was another piece of that puzzle. And Johnny's just like always down. So he was like, yo, whatever you need me to do in this project, I will support 100%. And in the beginning too, like all the guys, Frank, Nick was helping me with like the production, the mixing. So that was really cool. And it kind of just, it like branched out of that. Like I want to say, just out of that time period, this thing kind of grew up. This seed grew into its own tree.
Yeah. And then I know you mentioned about FLC and Bronx Underground. Like, how much did that really? There's probably some people in the Bronx that may not know about it. Maybe people like me outside the Bronx. How did that scene really influence you? Like, let's talk a little bit about what that meant for this community.
Well, that was everything. Growing up, that was like the center. You were saying earlier, like that was like.
We were just talking about how I've spoken to other people in the Bronx, and I said, I grew up in a local rock scene, local hardcore punk scene. And they're like, wait, here?
Yeah.
And what is that? Exactly. What do you mean? You're in the Bronx. Where are you at? But it was here. It exists. The people are here, and it changed all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could attest to that.
Absolutely. It was a place to get inspired and to hang out with friends, to see what your peers were doing, to see what bands that you looked up to that were touring were doing.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. It has been, and it sucks to talk about it now in the middle of COVID, where essentially none of it is happening. Yeah, but we basically they reached out to us and said, if you want to play shows here, you have a spot, and this is perfect because I live a couple of blocks away from here.
Yeah.
So it's been another, I'll use the word platform again, but a place where we can get together, invite different artists of different genres, different styles,
from all different countries.
So to just do our thing along with them, and also like incorporate causes into that whenever we can, like just something that's kind of like important to us or the surrounding community, or just like what's going on in the world that we want to somehow contribute to. So as far as that's been such a blessing. It's a 21 and up place, but still it's been amazing. I mean, it's let us keep
So in terms of like growing up here, where were like some of the places that you guys would eat at? Some of the places in the Bronx that you enjoy that like, yeah, like growing up, you know?
Right off the bat. The first place that comes to mind is right down this block, Crosby Ave, Louis and Ernie's Pizza.
Yes.
That's a Bronx staple for me, yeah.
And that's voted #1 pizza spot in the Bronx. #1 pizza spot in the Bronx. Yeah.
So with Louis and Ernie's, when we had the FLC shows, a lot of us would like just pop over to Louis and Ernie's to have pizza there a lot of times, or even Waterbury. Rumors back in the day before, like, well, or during FLC, we would still pop over to Louis and Ernie's. Crosby Pizza is another favorite. Joe's Pizza right here is good.
A lot of pizza places in the Bronx.
Six Happiness Chinese Food, gotta shout them out because I order from them every week.
Cruzo's needs a shout out because they're open 24/7.
Who's that's right?
If you come to a show with Jimmy Ryan's and you're hungry for a sandwich at 3 in the morning, Cruzo's.
Those are kind of my main ones. I mean, there's a lot of good food around here. But yeah.
And then, so when you went to Louis Ernie's, that was after the XUG, like after the show ended?
No,
or was
during.
it? Oh, during,
Yeah.
yeah.
During the show, like between sets
walk on
and stuff,
over.
Yeah.
I remember a bunch of us would go, like at the end of the shows, we'd walk up to McDonald's. And McDonald's would be filled to capacity. Every now and then, like the cops would come. We're like, hey, you guys gotta leave, and it's a bunch of like scene and emo kids with skateboards and all that, just dogging fries. Those are the glory days.
I'd follow the crowd just to hang out.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even order anything. I'd just be
That's right.
giant pizza bagels that they used to have there. But it's, you know, everyone has come such a long way since then. We extend, we grow, we develop as people, as artists, as creatives. And it's just, we keep going. You know?
Yeah, I think just speaking to that, somebody I was talking to recently, just kind of getting advice on this period. So it's cool that like we're doing this too. It's like nowadays especially, you have to wear many hats as a creative. Yeah. You know, like if you were doing one thing before this, you really have to learn how to do other things in order to survive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In order to thrive, in order to survive. So yeah.
There's one spot, if you keep going down that way, it's a bagel shop, and they make the bagels every morning.
Oh, Empire, yeah, the best. Empire,
You know.
the best.
Muffins, bagels, and I think they make their own cream cheese as well, right? I love that spot.
The one over
On the Ave.
It's so good. It's so good. I could eat those bagels every day.
What's cool is that there's a deli on the corner, so you take the bagel to them, you're like, yo, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese on the bagel.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And they'll do it for you.
Yeah.
After munching down our lunch with Alex at Jimmy Ryan's, we headed out to FLC for a quick tour. We were curious to see how Alex would view his return to the scene's royal stomping grounds.
Yeah, we haven't. It's been. It's gonna go on a year soon that we've been here.
How was it like on? So just tell for the audiences the typical, like what was it? Was it every Friday? Every third Friday? How was the whole setup?
So I believe the FLC shows were just about once a month. They would alternate between other venues, Mannheim Beach Club, and then there was another one. I'm trying to remember what it was. But anyway, this was like the big one, and it's very unassuming. But like, it doesn't look like much.
Yeah.
But that church basement would pack like 400 or 500 kids, essentially. You know.
I have a distinct memory of coming to one of the underground shows, and that would be the main entrance. But you have a whole line of people down the block, and it was incredible.
Yeah. And you can't find parking around here. There'd be cops around here because somebody's like getting in a fight. It's a good vibe. At one point, like I jumped out into the crowd, into the audience, and like I was crowd surfing. But then it's like somebody like held my leg, and like I was able to stand up, and just like looking down at all the kids, that like they were holding up my feet so I could like physically like stand up on the audience. I remember thinking that was a trip. Yeah.
I can't imagine what that must feel like as an artist,
Yeah.
like, performing. And it's like,
It felt cool. I'll send you those photos, but it was I was just hoping not to break my neck during that time. Like, we kind of forget about all that too.
damn. FLC was and is a staple of the Bronx's independent music scene, featuring both local artists and touring bands. Let's move on to day 2, where Alex has a special surprise in store.
Got day 2 coming in.
Come on
Down to the studio app.
Bands.
Lead vocalist, Left in the Attic.
My name's Jax. I'm a lead vocalist and a guitar player for a band called Left in the Attic. This is Vampire Camp Studios. Welcome to the subterranean, actually the ground floor basement studio for Left in the Attic. What's going on?
Yeah, this. Ooh, I'm liking this. This is this drum kit.
The drum kit's Gretsch. I play Fender. My bass player plays Ernie Ball. We basically play on top of each other here. I mean, very tight studio.
After a few laughs and a tour of Jack's studio, we got to work setting up the first ever acoustic performance of Alex's newest release, Life, a song about hope, perseverance, and the battles that some of us face continuously every day.
I'd give up my life, I'd give up my whole damn life, and it's carved into my bones, the only thing I know. I won't give up the fight till I carry that dream home. Don't wait for me, and if you hear those sirens come for me, will you please tell her I did everything I could? I played the game just like I should until they got to me, and they got to me. So pray for me, 'cause I don't know what else I can believe. 'Cause if God sees what they do to a man that looks like you, then what's that say to you? What's that say to me? I'd give up my life, I'd give up my whole damn life. It's carved into my bones, this ancient battle song. I won't give up the fight till I carry that dream home. I'd give up my life, I give up my whole damn life. It's carved into my bones, the only thing I know. I won't give up the fight till I carry that dream home. Damn, at the age of 23, had my whole life ahead of me. My heart was nowhere near as pure as yours, 'cause even when they squeezed you out, came out as pure beauty, like the fragrance of a rose on the hue that stomps it out. Will it be enough now? Won't take that to finally hear you out right now. It's a little too late now, but I will amplify your echoes from that ground. I give up my life, I give up my whole damn life. It's carved into my bones, this ancient battle song. I won't give up.
carved into my bones. Only thing I know, I won't give up the fight till I carry that dream home. Shut it all down, shut it all down, shut it all down, I'll shut it all down, shut it all down, shut it all down, shut it all down, shut it all down.
Basically, I came to this country as a refugee, as an immigrant, and I was met with this beautiful community of creatives, of musicians, of artists, of people from all walks of life that kind of took me in and gave me a chance to find myself, to discover who I was, and then to keep growing in that environment, which I think was a very nurturing environment to grow in. And that happened in the Bronx. That happened right here with the Bronx Underground. That happened with my friends in co-op. That happened, it continues to this day. And therefore I feel a very big responsibility to kind of get back when I can and to keep going with this art, because I've had that nurturing environment. So yeah, if I can do this, like you guys watching this or listening to this, you can bring together friends. It's not that I had any special resources outside of this community. We just brought friends together, we brought artists together, we brought musicians together, and we worked together to create that experience that was given to us for others. So, and I think it's a lot easier to do. And when you can when you can tie it into something that helps move this world forward, whether it's an organization you believe in, a charity, or a place that can be more inclusive of others, I think that makes your efforts all the more meaningful.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Really well said.
That's it. I'm grateful every day that I've had that opportunity here.
Yeah.
I think that's why my parents came here,
No, really cool.